Conference Championship Week is here, the last chance for teams to make a playoff statement. Welcome to Butts Talk. I'm Nick Butts. Let's get started. 3 things coming off of Rivalry Week. 1. The ACC champion is in the playoff. 2. The SEC champion is in the playoff. 3. The Big Ten and Big 12 championships are wild card games, meaning if Wisconsin and Oklahoma both win their respective championships, they're in. But if one or both of them gets beat, that opens the door for Alabama or possibly a 2-loss Big Ten or Big 12 champion to get in. Crazy stuff. I went 5-0 on my picks last week. I picked Auburn over Alabama and Stanford over Notre Dame. 2 correct upset picks. That brings my overall record to 38-17. I'll be picking all 9 conference championship games this week, as just opposed to 5 games. Here we go. The Pac-12 championship game presented by Dr. Pepper. Number 12 Stanford versus number 10 USC. SC a 3.5-point favorite. Friday night, 8 o'clock on ESPN from Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. SC beat the Cardinal in Week 2, 42-24. It's very hard to beat a team twice. There really isn't a playoff berth on the line here. The way Stanford has played down the stretch is very impressive. I expect them to give Bryce Love lots of touches and win the Pac-12 title. The Marathon MAC Football Championship presented by Vizio. Akron versus Toledo. Toledo a 21.5-point favorite. Saturday, 12 Eastern on ESPN. Ford Field, Detroit, Michigan. That's where the game is being played. Now, Toledo has only lost this season to Miami, Florida, and they lost a bad game to Ohio. Otherwise, they're loaded. Akron won't be able to slow down the Rockets. Toledo will win this one big. The American Athletic Conference Championship game presented by Kay Jewelers. Number 20 Memphis versus number 14 UCF. UCF, a 7-point favorite. 12 o'clock on ABC from Spectrum Stadium in Orlando, Florida. These are the 2 top scoring offenses in the country. Expect a lot of points. UCF did beat Memphis 40-13 in their first meeting. So, while it won't be that bad this time, UCF will still win and complete their undefeated season. The Dynacraft Conference USA Football Championship. North Texas versus FAU. FAU an 11-point favorite. 12 o'clock on ESPN2. The game is at FAU Stadium in Boca Raton, Florida. Now, North Texas has won 8 of its last 9 games. Their only loss in that stretch, 69-31 to none other than FAU. Lane Kiffin has done a fantastic job at the FAU, and they'll win the Conference USA title. Go Owls! The Big 12 championship game. Number 11 TCU versus number 3 Oklahoma. The Sooners a 7-point favorite. The game is 12:30 on Fox, and it's at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. This is another rematch. OU beat the Frogs 38-20 in their first meeting a few weeks ago. While it should be closer this time around, the Sooners are simply just the better team. Their offense is too good for TCU to hang around against. The Sooners will win the Big 12 and punch their ticket to the playoff. The SEC championship game. Number 6 Georgia versus number 2 Auburn. Auburn a 2.5-point favorite. The game is 4 o'clock on CBS at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, Auburn killed Georgia in their first meeting. It was ugly for Uga. However, it's redemption time for the Dogs. As great as Auburn looked against Alabama last week, I'm taking the Dogs to get their revenge. They're going to be ready. Georgia wins the SEC and punches their ticket to the playoff. The Mountain West Football Championship game presented by Hampton by Hilton. Number 25, Fresno State versus Boise State. Boise State, an 8.5-point favorite. The game is 7:45 on ESPN Saturday night at Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho. The funny thing is, these two played last week. Fresno beat Boise in Fresno. However, this game is in Boise. No one plays better on a blue field than Boise State does. The Broncos should win this game, getting revenge from a few days ago. The Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game. Number 7 Miami versus number 1 Clemson. Clemson a 9.5-point favorite. 8 o'clock on ABC at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, I'll be in attendance for this one. I believe I'm going to see a good game until about the second quarter. Miami, despite being 10-1, just hasn't looked very solid or consistent. Clemson has been solid and consistent. The Tigers are in their championship phase and will win the ACC for the third year in a row and punch their ticket to their third straight playoff. The Big Ten championship game. Number 8 Ohio State, a 6.5-point favorite over number 4 Wisconsin, 8 o'clock on Fox at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. The problem here is Wisconsin hasn't played anyone. They're 12-0, but there isn't any way to measure how good they are, really. Ohio State got killed by Iowa. They don't deserve to be in the playoff conversation. Personally, I hope Wisconsin beats them, and I think they will. Badgers win the Big Ten and punch their ticket to the playoff. Now to the eliminator. The same 7 teams remain, but 2 previously undefeated teams are now sitting with losses. So, there's only 1 undefeated left, and that's Wisconsin at 12-0. There are 5 one-loss teams. Clemson, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Alabama, all 11-1, and then Miami at 10-1. And the only 2-loss team, the number 2 team in the country, Auburn, at 10-2, the SEC West champion. So, my top 4, same as the committee. Clemson, Auburn, Oklahoma, Wisconsin. They have it right. If those 4 win this weekend, that will be the playoff bracket. My Heisman pick, plot twist, Lamar Jackson. He's better than Baker, folks. Just look at the numbers. Thanks for listening. I'm Nick Butts. This is Butts Talk. Good night.